Hello, 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 everyone. Sorry for the vocal issue there. This is the Evil Chocolate Cookie. Yes, I am aware I'm recording at 2 o'clock in the morning. But I woke up and can't seem to toast back off right now, so I figured why not? This video is going to be interesting. I have a device in each hand right now. Well, I just put one of them down so I can find my phone camera. But I have a device in each hand right now. And if you can see these, this is the one in my left hand is the first generation Victor Reader stream, and the one in my right hand is the third generation. Now, I have seen people do comparisons between the second and third generation and the first and second generation. I don't have a second generation. If I can ever find one for a decent price, just for my AT collection, we will redo this video and compare all three generations. But for right now, I want to do an in-depth comparison between the first and third generations. This may not exactly seem fair, because there is, 16 years in hardware differences here. But we're going to do it anyway. Speaking of hardware, let's start with that. Most of the keys are the same, function-wise, except for one difference. There is no online key on the first generation. The first generation did not have online access. Where the online key is on the newer models is an empty hole, and just above that is the LED. Now, on the newer models, both the second and third gen, the LED is under the power button. The second gen had an additional LED at about the 2 o'clock position on the online key for Wi-Fi status, but I don't think that is present on the third gen. If it is, you can't feel it. SD card placement is exactly the same. However, on the first gen, the slot is just open to the air unless it's in its case. I have it out of its case right now so that I can explain this better. So if it's out of its case, the SD card is just open to the air. On the third generation, you have a rubber flap that covers the SD card. See, I can lift it up, and the SD card is under it, and then I can just push it back in. And I like that because if you were to, jostle it, the card wouldn't fall out. So that's always a good thing. Now, the feel of the keys is different. On the first generation, the keys are very plastic. You may be able to hear that as I'm pressing some of them. Unit's powered off right now. We're not going to turn it on just yet. On the third generation, the keys have a very distinct click, but they are also rubberized, so they're softer to the touch. And see, the side keys have a more distinctly audible click. I don't know if you'll be able to hear that because the Pixel microphones like to squash some of the sounds that I actually deem to be important, but apparently they do not. So if you can't hear this, let me know and we will redo this video on a different device. I like to use this one because it has the best camera, but sometimes, the sound is the consequence. So, yeah. Another minor difference that some of you might notice, especially if you've been using the Victor Reader streams for a long time, the first generation and even the second generation had a horizontal line that you could actually feel, separating the telephone keypad and the bottom four keys. The third generation does not appear to have that. Or at least if it has one, marked on the casing, you can't feel it. Also, the shapes of some of the keys are a little different. The go-to and bookmark keys are exactly the same shape, although the go-to key on the third generation lacks the little oval-looking thing that you could feel on the first and second generation. Either it lacks it or it's just painted on and you can't feel it. Bookmark key shape is exactly the same. Might be a little bigger on the third gen. It's a little bit hard to tell just by touching it. So if anybody has some input on that, let me know. The number keys on the third gen are definitely bigger. They're bigger and they're more rectangular. On the first gen, they're smaller keys and they've got more of an oval shape to them. Also on the third gen, the 2 has an up arrow mark on it. The 4 has a left arrow mark on it. The 6 has a right arrow mark on it. And the 8 has a down arrow mark on it. That is not present on the first generation. It's warm in here. Also, small difference, the 5 on the first generation only has one little tiny dot, and on the third generation there are 2, one on each side of the key. Another difference is the shape of the sleep key. On the first generation it's more of an oval, and on the third gen it looks more like the number keys, it's more rectangular. The bottom 3 keys also have changed. On the first generation, you had very defined triangles for rewind and fast forward, and a very defined rectangle for play stop, and there were little gaps in between them. On the third generation, the rewind and fast forward have had their pointiness decreased, but they do have arrow marks on them. And the play key is still rectangular, but it has been stretched. And there isn't a whole lot of space between them. They're right close together. I think I actually like that better. The power key is very slightly different. On the first gen, it is more flat on top, and on the third gen, it has a little bit more of a rounded surface to it. Now, a big difference are the volume up and down keys. On the first generation, they are very defined triangles, and on the third generation, they're more like what you would find on a smartphone, kind of elongated keys. And there's less space between them. The record key is also different, and it's placed slightly differently. On both units, it's on the right side. On the first generation stream, it's like this really tiny square button, and it has a dot on it. On the third generation, it's longer. It looks almost like the lock/unlock button on a smartphone, is the best way I can describe it. But it has a little round circle that's raised up on it. On the third generation, it's closer to the bottom of the right, or on the first generation, rather, English, cooperate please. It's closer to the bottom of the right-hand edge, and on the third generation, it's up close to the top right corner. Now here's where things do get different. Speaker and microphone placement. On the first generation, the speaker and microphone are both on the top of the front face of the unit above the keypad. I don't remember which one is on which side, but you can very obviously feel them. On the third generation, the microphone is a little bitty hole right above the go-to key, and the speaker is on the bottom, on the right side edge of the bottom. Not like actually on the right side of the unit, but on the bottom edge of the unit on the right side, if you understand what I mean. Think of it as being placed like a smartphone speaker. Also, port placement is different. If you look at the first generation, the headphone and microphone jacks are right next to each other on the right side, which is confusing as heck. Because I'm like, which one is which? There is like no marker to tell them apart. On the third generation, the microphone is on the bottom of the left side edge, and the headphone port is on the left side of the bottom edge, if that makes any sense. Some more port placement to talk about. On the first generation, your charging and data ports were both on top, and they were different ports. The data port was on the left, mini USB, charging port proprietary on the right. On the third generation, these are now just one port. It's a USB-C port, no more proprietary crap, and it's on the bottom. Now, if you have both of these units and you're following along with me, I want you to flip them over. Tell the buttons to face the floor. Okay, now here is another big difference. On the first generation, on the back, there are some really weird grooves and such that you may not know what they're for. These are for a cartridge holder that was sold separately at the time. And these would allow you to play NLS cartridges, which, by the way, the third generation cannot do at all. Doesn't support them. Also, removable battery door, and in turn, removable battery. Third generation does not have either of those. Battery is not user replaceable. Also, I would say they're close to similar size, but the third generation feels so much smaller in the hand. Like, I don't know how much there is actually in difference as far as size, but the first generation feels substantially chunkier in my hand than the third generation does. I don't know if that's because it's got, a very defined square shaped thing going with the edges, whereas the third generation is more rounded. I don't know what the difference is. Haven't managed to figure it out yet, so if anybody can shed some light on this, I would seriously appreciate it. Now, I have put SD cards in both of these, so we have content to play with. So now, we're going to compare the startup process. I'm going to get these as close to the mic as I can so the audio can't exactly filter them out. And I'm actually going to boot them I'm going to boot them one at a time. I was going to boot them at the same time, but they have different startup beeps, and I thought I'd let you hear that. So we're going to go with the first generation first. I'm going to hold down the power button now.
Welcome to Victor Reader. Please wait.
Very iconic sound there.
Card of craziness. Please wait.
What was I reading last time I used this? I don't remember.
Please wait.
It's scanning my card. I've got a 16 gigabyte card in this one.
Please wait. Troubleshooting and maintaining your PC all-in-one for dummies.
Okay, I guess I was reading that. Either that or it doesn't remember where I was. We're going to put it down for now. And I'm going to start up the third generation. Same process, holding power key now.
Massive cart of goodness. Refreshing bookshelf content. Other books. 161 books. 96.
The Hunger Games radio dramas Part 2 Catching Fire.
Now let me go through and find something that I have in common on both of these cards. And you'll see that the bookshelf structure is pretty much identical.
Bookshelf. Talking books. 27.
Wi-Fi connected.
Other books. 76. Books. 1.
The Long Walk MP3.
2.
Who in the World is Carp?
3.
That Braille and Speed Classic.
4.
Audio MP3.
5.
Braille made audio intro.
Let's go with this
Braille
one.
made audio intro. Side 1. MP3.
Go to File. Beginning of book.
Now I'm going to put myself at the beginning of the book and put that down and try to find that on this one.
Audible. 5. Music. Save podcast.
Oh, there's another difference.
Text files. 1. Notes SD card. Talking books. Other books. 161.
Instead of putting you
96.
in your book,
Hunger Games
it
Radio
puts you
Dramas
on the
Part 2
bookshelf and
Catching
you have to
Fire.
enter your book again. I'd forgotten about that, even though I keep getting confused by it. So now let's see. I'm going to do go to book
Go to book.
and make a little bit of a guess.
Seven. 6.
76.
A wrinkle in timer.
77.
Answers in the form of questions. 1,500,000.
78.
F Braille underscore N.
79.
Audio.
80.
Braille made audio in.
Aha! I was close. It's number 80. I'll have to remember that.
Braille made audio intro.
Go to File. Beginning of book.
Okay. Now I'm going to turn both of these to full.
Volume. 10.
Well, that one's already on volume 10, but I'm going to crank them both up to full and let you hear the difference in the speaker.
Volume 20.
Alright, I'm going to start with this one. I'm just going to let it play for a minute. I'm going to start with the older one.
This is a tutorial on the Braille Mate, produced in conjunction with Telecentury Corporation of Mountain View, California. I'm Doug Wakefield. We're assuming that you're looking at your Braille Mate for the first time, that it's fresh out of the box. So before we even talk about how to turn it on or how to set the charger, let's first of all take a look at the unit itself.
Okay. Now I'm going to do the same thing over here on the third generation.
This is a tutorial on the Braille Mate, produced in conjunction with Telecentury Corporation of Mountain View, California. I'm Doug Wakefield. We're assuming that you're looking at your Braille Mate for the first time, that it's fresh out of the box. So before we even talk about how to turn it on or how to set the charger, let's first of all take a look at the unit itself. To make sure we're all looking at it in the same perspective,
I didn't stop it fast enough. So let me get the first generation to exactly the same point.
to make sure we're all looking at it in the same perspective.
Okay. Now they're in the exact same spot. Now I'm going to show you bookmarks.
Go to Bookmark. Insert bookmark. Start highlight bookmark. Bookmark list. Remove bookmark. Cancelled.
Now I'm going to do the same thing over here, just show you the bookmark menu, pressing the key a few times.
Go to bookmark. Insert bookmark. Start highlight bookmark. Remove bookmark. Cancel.
Aha! You notice something different. There's no bookmark list option. I'm not sure if they left that out on purpose or if it's an oversight and they're going to put it back in eventually. But I can show you something that you can do on both units, and I'm actually going to do this at the same time, just for shits and giggles, to see which one activates first. And that is holding down the bookmark key to tell it you immediately want to insert a bookmark instead of having to scroll through the menu. So, holding down on both now.
Insert bookmark.
Okay. Actually, the newer one triggered first. And I'm going to press confirm on both at the same time.
Bookmark 1 inserted.
Okay, the newer one seems to have a slightly faster response time. Either that or it's something with the keys. Now, we're going to compare the key describers. So I'm going to put both in key describer by holding 0, doing this at the same time.
Key describer on.
Key describer on.
Okay. Now I'm going to put the 3rd gen down and go through the complete key describer on the 1st gen first. They're similar but not identical.
Go to file. Bookmark. Bookshelf. 1. Scroll up. 2. Delete. 3. Move back. 4. Where am I? 5. Move forward. 6. Menu. 7. Scroll down. 8. Playback mode. 9. Cancel. Info. 0. Confirm. Sleep. Rewind. Play. Stop. Fast forward. Record.
Okay. Now it's time for the new one. And there's something else you'll notice that's different. On the 1st generation, you hear that human reading out all the menus. You don't have that on the 3rd generation. The only time you will hear him talking to you on the 3rd generation is during the startup process. Well, at least you're supposed to. You're supposed to still get the "Welcome to Victor Reader" message. But for some reason, mine is a little crackhead, and I think some other people are having this problem too, that with certain voices, that message gets cut off or it just straight up doesn't play. And it's annoying. So let's go through the keys.
Go to Online Features. Bookmark. Press and hold to insert a bookmark.
Oh, you get some extra help there.
Bookshelf. 1. Scroll up. 2. Manage books. 3.
That one's different.
Move back. 4. Where am I? 5. Move forward. 6. Menu. 7. Scroll down. 8. Playback mode. 9. Cancel. Start. Info. 0. Confirm. Pound.
Now watch this.
Sleep. 15. Sleep. 60 minutes. Sleep. Sleep. Off.
The sleep key, for some random reason, is not affected by key describer.
Jump backward. Hold to rewind.
That's different.
Play. Stop. Jump forward. Hold to fast forward. Record.
Now, I did not press the power and volume keys on either of these because they are not affected by key describer.
Key describer off.
Key describer off.
Okay. Now, I'm going to take you through the menus. 1st gen first, just for consistency.
Menu. Navigation and playback. Loop. Enable. Time jump. 1 minute. Enable. Time jump. 5 minutes. Enable. Time jump. 10 minutes. Enable. Time jump. 30 minutes. Enable. Key beeps. Enable. Sleep messages. Enable. Bookmark alert. Enable.
Audio adjustment mode.
Tone. Loop. Enable.
Okay, so that pressing 7 once just takes you to those specific settings. If you want the next group,
Skip. All. Custom.
now I'm going to tell you straight up, this right here does not appear on the 3rd gen. I guess they decided we don't need it.
Footnote. On demand. Page number. Skip. Producer note. On demand. Sidebar. On demand. All. Custom. Language. Text to speech voice.
Samantha.
Braille translation table.
English. American.
Text to speech voice.
Samantha.
That's all that's there.
Format SD card.
We don't want to do that.
Navigation and playback. Leading menu.
Now you'll notice we do not have a recording menu. That's because I do not have the soft pack on this 1st generation stream. It did not come with the soft pack, and you can no longer buy the soft pack, so no soft pack for me. That is something else you do not have to worry about with the 3rd generation. There is no soft pack. Everything that was in the soft pack is now just standard stuff. Now, if I press 7 here,
Menu. No local settings. General settings. Navigation and playback. Wireless. Recording. Online settings.
Now I'm going to take you through each one of these. I just wanted to show you the top level menus first. I'm not going to take you into every single option, but I will show you what's here.
General settings.
We'll start here.
Language. System. Power off options. Power off. Language.
Now, system I will take you into.
System. Keyboard. Date and time. Sleep. Keyboard. System. General settings. Navigation and playback. Time jump. Save last used navigation level on.
The first generation does not have that. You're going to have to find your navigation level every single time.
Audio adjustment mode. Tone. Loop. Off. Music. Random. On.
That's new to this one. Neither of the other generations had that in the menus. You did it exclusively with key 9.
End of book. Beep.
That's new to the third generation.
Time jump. Navigation and playback. Wireless. Airplane mode. Off. Wi-Fi. Bluetooth.
This whole menu is new. First generation did not have it.
Wireless. Recording. Recording volume adjustments. Manual. Preferred recording source. Internal microphone. Recording an audio bookmarks default save location. SD card. Built-in microphone file type. FLAC. Headset recording file type. FLAC. External recording source. Microphone. External recording mode. Stereo. External recording file type. MP3. 192 kilobits. Recording volume adjustments. Recording. Online settings. Software update. Notification mode. Beep only. Book services. Bookshare. Daisy Online.
Which is not applicable if you're in the US. We don't have any Daisy Online.
Yo.
That's France. We don't have that either.
NFB Newsline. NLS Bard. Bookshare. Book services. Other services. Internet radio. Podcast. TuneIn radio. Internet radio. Other services. Online. General settings. Leaving menu.
So the first generation does not have any of that. Because it does not have Wi-Fi. Now I'm going to show you the text-to-speech. So I'm going to use the user guide because I'm boring. Also because I don't have anything that's not a copyrighted book that will match up on these two. I've got plenty that'll match up on them, but it's all copyrighted. So, yeah. So, holding down key 1 on both of them, now.
Entering user guide.
Enter user guide. User guide.
Victor Reader Stream User Guide. Files.
Go to heading. Beginning of book.
Okay, now I'm going to give you the first generation first. I'm going to let it play a little.
User guide. Humanware.
Let me slow that down.
Speed. 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 0. Victor Reader Stream. User guide. By Humanware. Revision 4-20,100,000 to 115. User guide. About Victor Reader Stream. Humanware is proud to introduce Victor Reader Stream, the powerful digital talking book player. Victor Reader Stream is designed as an advanced high-performance DAISY, MP3, and NISO player for students, professionals, or on-the-go people who have extensive reading needs.
Okay, that's Samantha. She's default. Now, I have changed my firmware. Normally, by default, you would get Samantha and Tom, but I despise Compact Tom, so I installed the UK firmware instead, so instead of Tom, we get... Alright, we get Daniel, so let's let him read for a minute.
It allows you to transfer content from your PC to its removable flash memory card and provides advanced navigation of multiple formats including DAISY, MP3, NISO and electronic text. The Victor Reader Stream will be referred to as the stream throughout this user guide to lighten the text. Copyright 2010. Full stop now. L rights reserved.
Okay, that's enough out of those. Let me put it back on Samantha.
Samantha.
Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing with the 3rd gen. Let it read for a minute.
Victor Reader Stream User Guide. Humanware. Victor Reader Stream. User Guide. By Humanware. V1.4. October 2nd, 2024. Rev 3. Final. About Victor Reader Stream. Humanware is proud to introduce the 3rd version of Victor Reader Stream, the powerful digital talking book player. Victor Reader Stream is designed as an advanced high-performance DAISY, MP3 and NSO player for students, professionals, and on-the-go persons who have extensive reading needs.
Okay, that's Lily. Now I'm going to switch the voice, and to do that, on both units you can press and hold 7. You can do it through the menus as well, but pressing and holding 7 is a whole heck of a lot faster, so that's the way we do it here.
Rod.
You've been hearing him a lot because he's my menu voice, but I'm going to let him read a little bit. Everybody, you guys like him because so many people think, myself included, think he sounds like Liam Irvin, and we think it's funny. So Liam, if you're watching this, please don't take offense. We just think it's funny that you have a TTS clone.
Victor Reader Stream is designed as an advanced high-performance DAISY, MP3 and NSO player for students, professionals, and on-the-go persons who have extensive reading needs. It allows you to transfer content from your PC to its internal memory or to an external SD card and to receive content through Wi-Fi. It provides advanced navigation of multiple formats including DAISY, MP3, NSO, and electronic text.
Okay. I'm going to put it back to Lily because I like to have her read.
Lily.
All right. And here's something else you can do with the 2nd and 3rd generation that you can't do with the 1st gen. If I press and hold confirm.
Battery powered. 67%. No downloads.
And that's with me having my nose in Sunrise on the Reaping for several hours earlier. Now, if I pick up the 1st gen and try to do that, nothing. If I want the battery level, I have to go into the info and press 4 a couple of times.
Victor Reader. Battery powered. Battery level. Low. Cancelled.
Ooh, you need charged. There's another difference. The 1st generation didn't even give you percentages. You got high, medium, low, and very low. And when it got to very low, it started yelling at you. Well, I mean, if you have one, it will still yell at you. But since they're discontinued, if you have one, you're a very lucky person. I am going to keep this. I'm going to keep this for my AT collection, because I do collect AT. I love the stuff. You can thank Gallagher123123 for getting me into that. I started watching his stuff years ago, and, just seeing all of the cool stuff that he would be showing off, it kind of got me hooked, and when I started finding freebies online, I took them, and to this day, if I find a freebie online and it works, I will take it. So, yeah. Now let's get out of the user guide.
Exiting user guide.
Exit user guide. Other books.
Braille-made audio intro. Slide 1.
Okay. Now, one more thing I can think of is note recording. I'm going to start the recording on both of these at as close to the same time as I can. Given the difference in the key thing, it may be a little bit different. But that way I know they both get the same audio recording. So we're going to do a comparison of that. I had thought of doing direct audio upload, but the 1st generation records in 3GP. And I don't know what kind of stuff can handle 3GP. So I'm a little stuck there. So pressing the record key on both at 1, 2, 3.
Start recording.
Hello, we are testing for YouTube, and we are comparing the note recording functions on the 1st and 3rd generation Victor Reader streams. Why? Well, just because I can, and I think it's fun, and I'm a nerd. So now I'm going to stop the recording on both of them by pressing the record keys again at the exact same time, although they won't work at the exact same moment.
Stop recording.
Stop
Note
recording.
4.
Note
Created.
Created.
Okay, now I need to find the notes bookshelf.
Other books. Audible. Music. Saved pod. Text files. Notes SD card. Generic. 4. Notes.
Bookshelf. Other books. Music. 1. Podcasts. Text files. Notes. 8. Notes.
Okay, so you'll notice something else different too. The Stream 3 has note categories, whereas the first generation just has them all plopped out in random places. So I'm going to navigate to the one I want on both.
Go to note. 8. Note. 8.
Okay.
Generic. Go to Notes.
4.
Okay. Now I'm going to play on both, not at the same time. That would be annoying. I'm going to play on the first gen first.
Hello, we are testing for YouTube, and we are comparing the note recording functions on the first and third generation Victor Reader streams. Why? Well, just because I can, and I think it's fun, and I'm a nerd. So now I'm going to stop the recording on both of them by pressing the record keys again at the exact same time, although they won't work at the exact same moment.
End of note.
Okay. And now I'm going to play the same thing on this one. Oh, we are testing for YouTube, and we are comparing the note recording functions on the first and third generation Victor Reader streams. Why? Well, just because I can, and I think it's fun, and I'm a nerd. So now I'm going to stop the recording on both of them by pressing the record keys again at the exact same time, although they won't work at the exact same moment. I love that end of book chime. And you'll notice that the third gen cut off the beginning and there's a lot more handling noise. But overall, the quality, I would say, is a lot better. Let's see. Is there anything else I can think of to compare? I would do a music comparison, but I don't have matching files on these. It's all AI stuff, but it's AI stuff I've not posted to YouTube on the first gen. You know what? Screw it. We're gonna do it just to show it off.
Bookshelf. Note. Talking books. Other books. Music. 1. Book.
Memories.
Go to file. Go to file. 1.
A site beyond site MP3.
No.
My Papa and the MP.
Go to file. Cancel.
Let me find a good one. Let me see, actually.
For the love of story. Evil AI. Memories. Thank you, my love. Evil AI tune. Memories. Guardian of Wisdom version 2.
Actually,
MP3.
These two do match, so we'll use this one. I just have to find it on this one, because I've got a lot more stuff.
Notes SD. Talking books. Other books. Audible. 5. Music. All music. File 31.
Breaking the mold alternate.
File 165.
Supernote.
File 52.
Douchey remap.
File
Douchey tube.
96.
Infected melody.
File 190.
Virus shenanigans.
Lily, you're
MP3.
funny. Douchey tube.
File 191.
Busted Blues remaster.
File 128.
Pack your bags and go.
File 174.
The guy you love.
File 98.
I'm Windows.
File 117. File 170. File 32.
Breaking the mold.
File 28.
Bop It Blues remaster.
File 108.
Joe for Windows.
File 95.
Infected mel.
File 36.
Christmas as it should.
File 109.
John for Windows.
File 195.
What's your
File 124.
My grandfather's clock's up.
File 132.
Pierre's here.
File 72.
How did the reindeer learn to fly?
File 11.
Angels for Windows alternate.
File 146.
Rap battle.
File 30.
Brad Pitt test.
File 152.
Santa is on the naughty.
File 196.
Window judge disappointment room.
File 151.
Rise above the shame.
File 76.
I ate too much alt.
File 149.
Rap battle.
Let me
Voiceover
make a
versus
guess.
talkback.
Go to File.
7. 2.
File 72. How did the reindeer learn to fly?
Yeah, not quite.
Go to File.
6. 8.
File 68. Horny Valley 6.
Mhm.
MP. Go to File.
6. 0.
File 60. Guardian of Wisdom version 2. An AI-generated song.mp3.
Okay, I think this is the one I'm looking for. So we're going to start with the first generation. I'm going to let it play for a minute. Okay, and now I'm going to play the same song here.
You opened up my heart the way, showed me paths that lead to light, questions answered every day, in a world of pure delight, gentle guide through every screen, truth and knowledge hand in hand, in a time when hope was lean, you gave me strength to understand.
Okay. So I think the jury is back on this one, that the third generation definitely sounds better. So now I think I'm going to turn them both off at the same time and we'll see who shuts up first.
Shutting down. Please wait.
Actually, the first gen turns on and off faster. Okay, I'm going to put these aside. And we're going to talk a little bit about some other differences that I can't exactly show you. That being the stuff they come with. So, I never bought a first-gen stream new, but I did get one in really good condition. This one over here is in really good shape. The guy I got it from said he'd only used it for maybe 5 hours. And it came with everything. So with the first gen, you got the unit itself, obviously. You got like this nylon type carrying case. You got the charger, you got a mini USB cable. Actually, you got 2 mini USB cables. One of them was for connecting to the computer, and one of them was for hooking up a flash drive. And you got some really shitty earbuds. I mean, I'm not even kidding, they suck. I still have mine, and they are the most painful things in the world to put in your ears. Like, ow! Ow, 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 ow! I have them because I don't throw anything away. Unless it just doesn't work. Now, with the third generation, it's very different. You get the unit itself. You get your USB-C to USB-A cable. You get a power adapter. And you get a bunch of international plugs. And you get some random paperwork that I still can't read. No cases, no short cables, no none of that. With the third generation. Like I said, I don't have a second generation, so I can't factor it in here. Although I can tell you what you would get with one, because I did get one brand new. You got the unit itself, you got that slippery silicone case that would come with it. You got your micro USB charging cable, more crappy earbuds, and a very, very cruddy charging block. Why do I say cruddy? Well, because it literally fell apart in my hand one time while I was trying to take it out of the surge protector. Needless to say, I was screaming for help because I wasn't touching it. I'm like, someone cut the power now. Because like the whole block popped apart. Like the back panel that had the plug on it popped loose from the main body of the block. I was holding the main body in my hand, and like the plug was still in the surge protector. And I couldn't get it to go back on, so yeah, I was screaming for someone to cut the power and then come help me. Because I didn't know what to do. People thought I was overreacting. And maybe I was, maybe I wasn't, but would you have touched it? I don't think so somehow. So that is an in-depth comparison of the first and third generation Victor Reader streams. If I can find a second generation for a reasonable price just for my AT collection, we will do a three-way comparison. Like I said, I don't exactly need it, so it's not like an emergency, but I do collect AT, as shown by my Trekker Breeze over here. And if you all want more fun stuff, we can do a comparison between these two and the Bookport Plus, or one of them and the Bookport Plus. Just let me know what you guys want. Because, honestly, I think that would be interesting, just how much is different. If that's something you think you'd want, we will definitely do it. So, definitely let me know. But I'm gonna get this video uploaded, yes, in the middle of the night. As I'm recording this anyway, it's the middle of the night. You all enjoy the video, and I will see you on Tuesday.